Every now and again, a phrase seeps into political discourse and becomes a weapon for the right wing media machine. We've had Brexit means Brexit, we've had wokeness, and now we're hearing two-tiered justice system at every turn. It's the kind of phrase that doesn't just oversimplify, it actually distorts the truth. First it was the media pushing it, but now it's being parroted by both Tory and Labour MPs. But what's really going on with this phrase two-tier? According to the likes of Nigel Farage and Robert Jenrick, we live in a country where white men are being disproportionately targeted by the justice system, supposedly for nefarious reasons. That's the conspiracy they're selling. They claim the police prefer arresting white people over ethnic minorities. And it's not just on social media that they keep espousing this nonsense. This kind of talk is now being used to justify policy. The idea started swirling long before 2024, but it was last summer's far-right riots that really brought it to the forefront. The right lost its mind when arrests were made over racist posts online, posts that were deliberately fueling hate and violence. These weren't innocent expressions of opinion, they were inciting riots, and yet, to the right, these arrests were some sort of state overreach. Meanwhile, they accused the police of standing by during Gaza protests, even though those were peaceful and lawful. And the truth of it is that Gaza protesters are also facing harsh clampdowns by police, just not the kind the right wants to really talk about. And into the mix steps Elon Musk, claiming white people are being arrested more than anyone else in Britain, as if it's some kind of injustice rather than a reflection of who was rioting and who was inciting it. This whole two-tier policing narrative is just another conspiracy theory, and yet it's one that large chunks of the media seem all too happy to platform. Many of them even buy into it themselves. The rhetoric mirrors the infamous Great Replacement theory, the idea that native populations are being secretly replaced through immigration. It's just another racist dog whistle, only this time two-tier policing or two-tier sentencing or whatever you want to call it doesn't get the same pushback, and it's been allowed to fester. And now, unbelievably, it's made its way into Parliament. The Independent Sentencing Council has introduced new guidelines. From now, courts will need to produce a pre-sentence report for defendants from ethnic, cultural or faith minorities, as well as women and young adults. It's to give judges more robust context and reduce bias in sentencing. Seems pretty reasonable to do that. But not to Robert Jenrick, he is furious. He calls it blatant bias against straight white men. This from the man who said people should be arrested just for saying Allah Akbar in the street. And where is Labour in all of this? Cowering away. Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood is reportedly planning to overturn the Sentencing Council's guidelines, undermining the very idea of independence just to satisfy the frothing rage of right-wing racists. Even Starmer's weighed in with veiled threats suggesting all options are on the table to stop the guidelines. At least Diane Abbott had the guts to call this out for what it is, a disgrace. But this is where we are. A place where Labour leaders are validating a conspiracy theory just to avoid a fight with the right. Even the people peddling this stuff don't seem to believe it half the time. Farage claims white people face harsher sentencing, and yet he moans that he's the victim of a two-tier system after someone threw a milkshake at him and wasn't jailed. Farage, a millionaire leading a major party, sees himself as a second-class citizen. Oh, the irony. But the truth is, there is a two-tier system, just not the one Farage imagines. The real two-tier system protects people like him, the likes of Jenrick, the rich, the powerful, the well-connected. It's not skewed against them. It's skewed for them. Take the Sentencing Academy's 2021 report cited by the Youth Justice Legal Centre. It found that people from BAME backgrounds are sentenced 39% more often than white offenders. For drug offences, they're more than twice as likely to get a custodial sentence. Research from the Equal Campaign Group, working with Manchester Metropolitan University, found that Black African and Black Caribbean defendants are 2.8 and 3.7 times more likely to be remanded in custody than white British people. For Bangladeshis, Pakistanis and Black Caribbeans, sentences are between 4% and 11% longer than those for white defendants. Black African and Indian defendants are more likely to plead not guilty, yet receive less support, often can't afford a solicitor, and face a system entirely stacked against them. Poverty for ethnic minorities plays a huge role here, made worse by a decade of austerity and the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. The poorer you are, the more likely you are to end up in jail. Cardiff University found that in the most deprived areas areas of England, you're 10 times more likely to be imprisoned than in the least deprived. 10 times. That's the real two-tier system. Forget this false narrative about white people being targeted. The truth is, if you're poor or black or both, you're far more likely to be arrested, charged, and sentenced. And not because you're more dangerous, because the system is built that way. And now Starmer wants to roll back reforms that were meant to bring even a sliver of fairness to the justice system. Instead of tackling the causes of crime, poverty, insecure housing, rogue landlords, low pay, Labour is playing the rights game again. This is the time for the Labour movement to push back, to stand up for the people being crushed by the state, not pander to those exploiting it. Punishment isn't the answer and will never be the answer when it only deepens inequality and despair. People don't commit crimes because they want to. Often, more often than not, they're just trying to survive. We need a system that gives people hope, secure, well-paid jobs, decent housing, a social safety net that actually works. No one should end up in prison just because they couldn't afford to eat or heat their home. The real two-tier justice system is about power. The rich and politicians are protected, the poor are punished, and only socialism can put an end to it. If you found this video enjoyable, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and head over to our website at www.lefthorizons.com. Sign up to the newsletter and read the full article over there too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.